right, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get started with our do now today. 3 minutes on the clock. First question, what's the weirdest food you've ever eaten? Go ahead and put that answer in the chat. And then how do you multiply fractions? We're going to share that answer out loud.
Hot dogs and applesauce. I used to really like it when I was younger.
So you
I don't know what was wrong with me. Pray for me.
2 more minutes. Get your answers in the chat for what is the weirdest food you've ever eaten. So far, we got peanut butter and salsa, hot dogs and applesauce, and octopus. Brussels sprouts. Nancy, I love Brussels sprouts. Those aren't weird.
Those are nasty.
I feel like you haven't had good Brussels sprouts. One day,
I probably didn't.
One day when we're allowed to come back in person, I'll make you my famous Brussels sprouts. Oh my gosh.
I want to have crab. I haven't ate crab.
You haven't. Interesting.
Hannah's face. I want to have crab and lobster. There's a lot of foods I haven't tried, but I want to eat like a bunch of them.
I've never had crab and lobster either.
Yeah, I want to try it. People say it's good. People say they kind of taste the same, but like both of them like have their own like flavor and stuff.
Interesting. Maybe you could try it in like sushi.
Sushi's good.
Yeah, they have crab in sushi. Hannah's not a fan of sushi.
Hannah, what is wrong with you? Sushi is fire.
Branson, you don't know what your weirdest food is? Interesting. You haven't lived, man. You haven't lived. Karen, how is octopus?
Very nasty.
So you wouldn't eat it again?
So gross. The texture on the tongue is like absolutely disgusting, and it makes me want to. I couldn't even chew it. Like it made me like gag.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never had octopus. Okay, boiled chicken. I don't eat meat, but I don't think that's weird, is it? I thought that's how people cook chicken. No.
Boils chicken though. You either put it on the grill or you fry it.
Then who boiled chicken for you?
It was my grandma. That's probably why. Like, boiled chicken takes all the flavor and like the texture out.
Oh,
it's like a sponge at that point.
Good to know. Oyster, okay. All right, let's do 30 more seconds and then I'll call on someone for number 2. Oh no, I just dropped my trash can. That was a disaster. Thankfully, no one else is here. I do a lot more embarrassing things now that I'm alone. No one has to witness them. Am I just talking to myself right now? You better believe it. That's another embarrassing thing I do alone. And y'all are on mute and you can't say anything to me, so. All right, cool. Let's go ahead to our question. How do you multiply fractions? What do you have for me, Dion?
Huh?
How do you multiply fractions?
I don't know.
What do we do in our notes yesterday? What's the method? What do we use to multiply fractions?
Oh, the magic X.
Not the magic X, but if I'm multiplying fractions, who can help Dion out? How do we multiply fractions?
Oh. Got time for this, man.
Don't you divide the number on both sides?
Simpler than you guys are all making it to be. You just multiply the numerator together and you multiply the denominators together. Multiply the tops, multiply the bottom. Questions on that? Okay. Let's go ahead and do good things. Today our good things will come from, let's see who I have not heard from in a while. Gotta find my good things page. All right, today's good things are going to come from Hannah. Did I ask you yesterday, Hannah? I can't remember.
I was not. No.
I'm gonna say Hannah, Sandra, and Layla. Hannah, Sandra, and Layla. Hannah, what's your good thing?
My good thing is I've been like growing like as a person. That's a good thing.
Awesome. That's exciting. That's so deep. All right. Sandra, what's your good thing?
That I don't have a lot of homework today.
Ooh, exciting. And then Layla, what's your good thing?
It's 2 more days till Friday, I guess.
Yep. You're almost done with hump day, so exciting. Any other people that want to share a good thing today? My good thing is I started reading a new book yesterday, and it was pretty good. That's my good thing. I have this book for book club that I just haven't been reading. I finally opened it up yesterday and got to it, so proud of myself. You go, Miss Bogwat. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our notes today. Before we do that, are there any questions from the homework last night? Remember, it's due tomorrow at 11:59 p.m., but I know some of you guys that are just on top of it, have started it, have questions on it. I'm happy to answer any of those questions now before we get started. No questions? Okay, let's get started today then. We have 2 more examples left from last night's notes. So we have B and C. So go ahead and take out your notes if you haven't gotten them out yet. And let's go to part B. So we've got 5x minus 5x squared over x squared minus 4x plus 3 times x squared minus 5x plus 6 over 5x. Remember your first step, anytime you have a binomial or a trinomial, you have to factor out what you can, and then you have to multiply. So let's look at the first fraction, 5x minus 5x squared over x squared minus 4x plus 3. Let's just focus on the numerator, 5x minus 5x squared. How can I factor 5x minus 5x squared? How can I factor 5x minus 5x squared? What do you have for me, Hannah?
I would say you can take the greatest common factor. So you want to get your GCF, and your GCF will be 5x.
And then what would be left in the parentheses, Hannah?
The parentheses, the parentheses would be, I want to say x, right?
Almost. It would 5x divided by 5x is 1, and then.
Oh, 1 take away x then, right?
Yep, perfect. Good job. All right, now let's focus on the denominator. So x squared minus 4x plus 3. How can I factor x squared minus 4x plus 3? How can I factor x squared minus 4x plus 3? What do you have for me, Venus?
So you're gonna use the magic X.
And what goes at the top and what goes at the bottom?
The top is 3 and the bottom is -4.
Thank you, Venus. All right, I'll take a volunteer for this one, so feel free to unmute yourself. How am I going to fill in the magic X? What goes in on the sides?
Ain't it plus and minus?
That's going to be minus and minus because this is a positive and this is a negative, so both of these have to be the same sign and they have to be a negative. What numbers are going to go in there?
Three and one.
3 and 1. Yep. Doesn't matter which one goes where because they're both negative. So it's x minus 3 and x minus 1. Good. All right, now let's focus on the second fraction. So we've got in the numerator x squared minus 5x plus 6. How can I factor x squared minus 5x plus 6? What do you have for me, Sandra?
Which one?
X squared minus 5x plus 6. How can we factor x squared minus 5x plus 6?
The magic X.
Magic x. And Sandra, what would go at the top and what would go at the bottom?
On top goes 6, positive 6. And on bottom, -5.
Good. I'll take a volunteer for this one as well. So unmute yourself if you can fill in the x for me. What goes in on the sides?
Negative, negative.
Negative, negative, that's true. And then what numbers go in there?
I don't know.
Anyone can answer. So what number?
2 and 3.
2 and 3, because -2 times -3 gives you +6. -2 plus -3 gives you -5. So it's x minus 2, x minus 3 over 5x. You can't simplify 5x any further because it's already just one term. All right, let's put it all together. So when you multiply, you go top to top. So multiply all of the numerator. So bring it all down. 5x, parentheses 1 minus x, parentheses x minus 2, parentheses x minus 3, over x minus 3, parentheses x minus 1, parentheses, or not parentheses, just 5x. All right, now we get to the fun part, which is canceling things. Cancel culture is okay when we talk about math. That was a lame joke. I apologize. I realize that.
Did you say cancel culture?
I said cancel culture is allowed in math. Get it? Get it?
So anyways.
This is the best part about teaching alone in my classroom is that I can tell jokes and then I don't have to hear you all not laugh at them. All right. What can I cancel? What do you think? What can I cancel, Layla?
The minus?
Remember, we have to cancel whole expressions. So, like, what do you see that's the same in the numerator and the denominator? So, what, sorry?
5x.
5x. That's one.
Yeah.
Anything else?
1. X minus 1.
So I'm going to hold off on that because you see how they're not the exact same. You have 1 minus x and x minus 1, which is not quite.
Oh, so it's the x minus 3.
Yeah. So far we can cancel those off pretty easily. But you are right, Layla, that 1 minus x and x minus 1 are very similar to each other, but I can only cancel them if they're the exact same. So the way I'm going to deal with that is if I factor out a -1. So if I add a -1 to the outside, I can change this from 1 minus x to x minus 1. And then we've got x minus 2. So now I have a matching expression, so I can cancel those. So you're left with just -1 parentheses x minus 2. You want to get rid of this -1 on the outside, so you're going to distribute it. So -1 times x is -x. -1 times -2 is +2. But don't forget, we still need to deal with the restriction. So everything that you canceled out, you need to bring it back and set it equal to 0. So you've got x minus 3 equal to 0, 5x equal to 0, and x minus 1 equal to 0. You have to solve for x for each one. So the first one, x minus 2 is equal to 0. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, so you'll get x is equal to 3. But remember, it's a restriction, so x cannot equal 3 because 3 would make your denominator 0. Same thing with the middle. We're going to divide both sides by 5, so you're getting x is equal to 0 divided by 5 is 0, but remember this is a restriction, so we're going to use the does not equal symbol. So x cannot equal 0 because if I plugged in a 0, it would cause my denominator to be 0. And the last one, we're going to add 1 to both sides, so x is equal to 1, but it cannot equal 1. So there we go. Questions? All right, so here's your final answer. That's the simplified version. And then here are your restrictions. Questions on that? All right, last one, part C. We've got x plus 2 over x cubed minus 27 times x squared plus 3x plus 9. First thing you'll realize is that these are not two fractions, so I need to change that second one to a fraction, so I'm going to put it over 1. Hannah, what are you doing? Are you just singing to yourself? She's muted me. She can't hear me. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So first fraction, we've got x plus 2 over x cubed minus 27. Focus on x plus 2 first. That's already factored all the way. You can tell that because x doesn't have an exponent, and there's no GCF that goes into x and into 2. So that's already simplified all the way. Now let's look at the denominator, x cubed minus 27. X cubed minus 27. First question, how can I factor x cubed minus 27? What method should I use to factor x cubed minus 27? What do you think, Ethan?
The magic X.
So we can't use the magic x for x cubed minus 27 because there are only 2 terms. You need 3 for the magic x. Any other ideas?
No, not really.
Any volunteers? Does anyone know how we can factor out x cubed minus 27? Just tell me the method. You don't have to tell me what it is.
Ain't it like cube something?
Yeah, difference of cubes because x,
Yeah.
you have the exponent 3 and 27. So x cubed minus 27. Good job, Branson. You're going to first take the cubed root of x cubed and the cubed root of 27. So the cubed root of x cubed is x, and the cubed root of 27 is 3. And then you have to use the acronym SOAP. So SOAP stands for same sign, opposite sign, always a plus sign. So I'm going to draw 2 parentheses. One is shorter, one is longer. So same sign means you're going to copy the same sign, so the minus sign goes there. Opposite sign means you're going to put a plus sign right there, and then always a plus sign. And then in the first blanks, you're gonna just fill it in with the cubed root. So x minus 3 goes in the first. And then to fill this out, the first term, you're gonna take x and you're gonna square it. So x squared. Then you're gonna multiply 3 times x, that's gonna go in the middle, so plus 3x. And then you're gonna square the last term, so plus 9. X minus 3, and then parentheses x squared plus 3x plus 9. So let's go ahead and copy that down over here. So x minus 3, parentheses x squared plus 3x plus 9. Times, now we've got x squared plus 3x plus 9 in the numerator. What method should I use to simplify, or sorry, to factor x squared plus 3x plus 9? What method should I use, Nancy?
For the top?
3x plus 9, what method should I use to factor?
The magic X.
Okay, because you have 3 terms, so let's try that. So at the top, we've got 9. At the bottom, we've got 3. All right, what 2 numbers, I'll take a volunteer for this one. What 2 numbers can we fill the sides up with? So what are the factors that multiply to give you 9 and add to give you 3? Is anyone struggling to find 2 numbers that will multiply to give you 9 and add to give you 3? If you're struggling, that's good, because that was a trick question. There are no numbers that will multiply to give you 9 and add to give you 3. This is actually unfactorable. It's called a prime polynomial. We cannot factor it any further. It is what it is. It has to stay like that. So sometimes you'll see that. Questions on that? All right, the last step, multiply everything together. So you've got x plus 2 and then x squared plus 3x plus 9 over x minus 3 parentheses x squared plus 3x plus 9. What can I cancel out? I'll call on someone for this. What can I cancel out? Karen.
No. No. Okay. See, that's exactly what I do not want the camera on. But you can cancel out the 3x, the x squared, and the 9. So you only be left with x plus 2 and x minus 3, right?
Absolutely. You can cancel out this whole expression and this whole expression. You're just left with x plus 2 and x minus 3. Your last step is whatever you canceled. So in this case, it's x squared plus 3x plus 9. Set it equal to 0. And you'll notice that because we couldn't factor this, there's actually no solution to this. There's no number that you can plug into x and have this expression equal. There's no way that you can plug in anything here that would get you to have the expression equal to 0. So because there's no solution, there's also no restriction. That's your final answer. Any questions about part C? Okay, so I'll put this up for another minute in case anyone is still trying to copy it down. All right, let's go ahead and go over our homework for tonight. We're starting something new tomorrow, so make sure to print out the notes for tomorrow. We're doing dividing tomorrow. And then your 7.3 assignment part 2 is due tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. So you have tonight and tomorrow to work on it, and it will be due tomorrow. Questions? All right, happy Wednesday. Y'all can leave early if you have no questions. I'll stay till the end of the period if you want to work on your homework or get any questions answered. But you are free to go if you have no questions.